Hey there, HEXO traders and investors. Welcome back on the Pursuit of Wealth. It's Rod with POW Group. Today is Thursday, December 30th, and in today's short video, we're going to be discussing HEXO Corp and whether or not I believe something big is brewing at HEXO. I do believe that they're working on something big behind the scenes, whether it be related to financials or a possible deal in the works, but we're going to look at some interesting points and articles that I want to share with you guys today, and I would love to get your comment and feedback on it as well. So make sure to let me know if you agree with me, disagree with me in the comments below, and smash the like, subscribe to the channel, tick the bell to be notified on any future updates. Stick around and we'll jump into today's content in just a second. All right, welcome back to the show, everybody. Going to keep today's video a little short. Like I said, I want to drive a few points home on why I think there could be something big brewing in the background at HEXO. Again, we're going to look at the pros and the cons as well. There's been some talk that HEXO may be potentially looking at a raise, so more dilution. I actually did a video last week detailing some of the options that HEXO would have in the short term before considering bankruptcy. So no, I don't think that HEXO is going bankrupt. I'm still super bullish on HEXO, and I've been dollar cost averaging on my position, and I'm holding for the long term. I'm not worried whatsoever. It's all money that I've been willing to lose, and I'm looking to just let sit for multiple years leading up to US legalization. Personally, I'm a very aggressive style investor, and I use the most aggressive style there is, basically buying when there's fear in the market and blood in the streets. Like I said, there's been some negative speculation that with regards to the AGM, the annual general meeting, they're delaying that because there could be some news coming out. It might be perceived as bad. So some people on Reddit are saying that it could be negative. It could be more, a raise, more dilution. But I would argue that even if they did announce dilution, that might not actually be perceived as negative by the market. You might think, why is that? They're adding more shares and devaluing, creating less value for current shareholders, right? But my point is that it's probably been priced into the stock's price at this point, right? A lot of people are sort of already expecting, they know their cash reserves are getting a little low and that they're likely going to have to tap the equity markets once again. So I do believe that has been priced in up to this point. And what I don't believe has been priced in and is really resonating or getting people back to reality so much as the concept of them going bankrupt. So if they see dilution news, a lot of people are going to be thinking, well, I thought they were going bankrupt. I thought the stock was going to zero. And then they just realize that, oh, okay, they're just going to raise more funds. It's not the end of the world. HEXO's not going anywhere. And honestly, even if HEXO did dilute one more time, they still would have diluted the least of Tilray and CGC combined. So I'm not worried. Like I said, I don't think HEXO's going anywhere. And that, like I said, I did a video on some options that HEXO had before considering bankruptcy. I don't think that's anytime soon. I think that would be a long ways out. I'm talking multiple years, but personally, I really don't believe that the stock is going to zero. I think that this year coming and the next couple of years are going to be a defining moment for HEXO. But I want to go over on why I think this could be bullish. And I already went over this in another video, but I'll just read the ending part here. So HEXO is currently working on a number of plans and initiatives that it hopes to be in a position to announce in advance of the AGM, and it believes that shareholders would benefit from being able to consider any such matters before being asked to vote on various items at the AGM. So what does that make you think of, right? Well, maybe they're going to announce something with regards to the debt. I think that's the most likely, a plan regarding that. Maybe we get, they said they were working with Lazard, they were working with BMO, they were working with other lenders, and the unknown lender that we don't know who is the holder of that debt. They didn't tell us. So that just tells us, well, it could be something with regards to that. It could be something with regards to the new CFO. Maybe we get, a high-level executive from another CPG company come in. That could be a positive catalyst. Maybe it's something with regards to a CPG partner or a deal. We know Organogram had an investment from British American Tobacco. Personally, I don't think that's going to happen just yet. I think that's the least probable, but I could expect something with regards to a deal with CPG partner, maybe with the debt, something with regards to debt. I think that's more likely. But like I said, it's something that there's a lot of positive catalysts, that a lot more positive than negative that could come in the future, in my opinion. If you really think about it, what else could happen to HEXO that could drive the price down, another 20, 30, 50% in, on some news breaking. Like everybody thinks the company's going to zero and bankrupt already. So what really could market makers and the media portray that, hasn't already been portrayed to spread FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt, right? So what other FUD could they come out with at this point, right? We're basically at max FUD. So I think that there's a lot more positive catalysts. If we think of the positive catalysts, I'll just name off a few. So in terms of HEXO, we could see EBITDA positive into the fully consolidated Redecan earnings here in March Q2. We could see entry into more states for trust. We know that they're already expanding in multiple states, I think 17 now. We could see gel caps and the Readies come to California, which they said that could happen in the first quarter of 2022 through a special purpose vehicle. They could also bring Redecan and Readies into Quebec. There's so many different things. There's EPS positive, like they said on the call, that could be in the cards in the next 4 quarters. And then we didn't even get into, reform in the US, so safe banking or full-blown legalization, right? So there's so many catalysts that could catapult this stock higher. And I think the risk to reward is absolutely phenomenal right now on HEXO. I think this is a 10 to 20x bagger looking the next few years out. But again, I don't just own HEXO, I own multiple MJ stocks, large caps, small caps, Canadian LPs, US MSOs. I've got some ETFs as well, but I also have crypto, right? I've got more money in crypto than I do in MJ right now. And that's probably going to change over the next few months as I look to rotate some of those profits out of crypto. I'll probably buy more beaten down MJ. And I'll also be looking to take some long-term short positions on the S&P 500. I'm also going to take a short position on Bitcoin. I'm also going to take a short position on Ethereum. I think Ethereum is going to have a really hard 2022 and could be a potential target from the SEC. So that's my game plan, is to short some cryptos, the broader market, and load up on long positions on MJ. And I'm going to be holding those for multiple years into US legalization. I've said it many times, I use the most aggressive investing strategy, and that's when it comes to MJ and crypto, I'm the most aggressive. I use dollar cost averaging, and I buy when there's blood in the streets. And that's because we never know where the bottom is. As long as we're buying near a bottom, near a bear market end, right? I did a video yesterday on whether or not this is the bear end of the bear market. You can check that out. Also, tax loss selling was yesterday, which we'll touch on here in just a second. But another clue that I have, we were supposed to get the corporate presentation, the new one, on the earnings call. So I think it was Jennifer at HEXO, she had mentioned that you can expect an updated corporate presentation right around earnings. So that was on December 14th. So we didn't see the corporate presentation. So generally there wouldn't be negative news in a corp presentation. So if we don't have the updated investor deck, then why aren't they releasing it? Might there be some news or something in there that they don't want out yet? And maybe they're waiting for the whole sector to reverse after tax loss selling. So that now that tax loss selling is over, keep in mind of the superficial loss rule, which I mentioned in the video from yesterday. You can check that out for more information on that. But essentially, they can't buy, the people who sold to tax loss harvest, they can't rebuy that same stock within 31 days. So it may not be, HEXO it may be boring, it may be bumpy until the end of the month. And into February, I think that's what we're going to see. We're going to see a jump in price toward the end of January and into February. Also, SPY right now is a heavy, something to be aware of, that we're at heavy resistance here on SPY. So it's a possible daily bull flag, and we could see a pullback, in my opinion, to around the 470, 465 area on SPY, and then we trend higher. I do think that we're going to see one more blow off top. But like I said, very strange that we haven't seen that updated corporate presentation yet. Wonder if there's some news, some good news going along with that, and that's baked into that investor deck. We'll see. And just want to update here on Fintel. So the institutional ownership, if we take into the insiders and the institutions that own HEXO, it's at around a quarter, so 25%. And I would argue that it's actually higher than that. I don't believe that they're all up to date, but right now, according to Fintel, they have 141 institutional ownership, and 131 institutions are long only, and only one of those 141 are short only, and then 9 are a combination of long and short. So that's quite a large discrepancy there. And again, I don't know if this is the bottom. I do think that HEXO may potentially hit 50 cents USD, 75 cents Canadian. It's possible. There's no point on using technical analysis right now on HEXO specifically, but we can look at the MJ sector and we can say, okay, when MSOS sees weekly trend changes and monthly uptrends confirm and weekly uptrends confirm. HMMJ also. So when we see the major ETFs start to trend up and confirm daily and weekly uptrends, that's going to be when we can expect HEXO to see some upside, in my opinion, because I don't think they're going to release any good news just yet. I think they're going to wait for the sector to reverse a little bit. And like I said, SPY may be due for a little bit of a correction here, and into the new year, we're still pretty slow going. So I think that around the first or second week of January, things are going to pick back up. A lot of people are still on vacation and holiday mode. So another thing, again, I mentioned in the video from yesterday, tax loss selling now could bring further tax savings in 2022. So yesterday being the deadline, it takes 3 days to settle. The deadline's the 31st, so selling on the 29th would take 3 days, should settle by that 31st deadline. So yesterday was technically the last day to take advantage of that tax loss selling feature or rule. And like I said, superficial loss rule is going to be 31 days before they can repurchase that same stock. And like I said, 3-day settlement. And one thing I want to mention as well is that we had some perfect timing and strategy. In my opinion, I think it was a strategy from JP Morgan. They announced this 2 months ago, right ahead of, right before the end of the year, after MJ was on an 11-month brutal slide, and they restricted trading in some US cannabis stocks. And again, it's like they're manipulating the market to their own benefit, right? How much have they been buying of cannabis stocks? I bet you they've been the number one buyer of cannabis stocks while this news was coming out. It's called playing your book, and it's not illegal. They did the same thing with Bitcoin and crypto. They told their employees and their traders if they traded Bitcoin or crypto, they'd be fired. And then a year later, it was proved that JPM was actually one of the biggest buyers of Bitcoin. So I don't know how that's not illegal, but they've been manipulating the gold and precious metal markets for decades. And we know that they were fined nearly $1 billion for spoofing precious metal trades. We know that they were fined, I think, $200 million recently for allowing employees to use WhatsApp to evade regulators' reach. And, just all the auditing and things like that would cause an issue. So this just spells to me that they're pouring fuel on the fire and they're trying to entice people to sell them. They want your cheap cannabis shares, in my opinion, because I think that the bull run of crypto is going to be ending soon. And then we're going to see the beginning of the MJ bull cycle. And what I think could happen is we see some progress with regards to SAFE, US legalization, and then what actually kickstarts the bull cycle for MJ is going to be profit taking in tech and also profit taking in crypto. A lot of that's what I'm going to be looking to do with my crypto, is rotate it into MJ. So how many other people? Let me know in the comments below if that's something that you're looking to do. If you own any other MJ stocks as well, like I said, it's good to diversify, not just HEXO. But again, what I think is going to happen is we're going to see money rotate out of crypto into MJ. That's going to be catalyst number one for that reversal. People are going to be looking to park money long-term after taking their profits and long-term profits and positions out of crypto. And then what I think is going to come after that is US legalization. We'll get that hype. And what I think is going to happen, we're going to have a multi-year bull market for MJ. And what's probably going to burst that bubble is going to be a sell the news event of full-blown legalization. So they run it into hype, right? Buy the rumor, and then it's going to be sell the news. And then when they actually legalize, similar to what happened in Canada, then we see the end of that bull cycle. So I think into 2022 and 2023, we see the MJ bull cycle start. And then into 2024, maybe we see the peak of that bubble and we see full-blown US legalization. That's personally what I believe. I think it's going to happen a lot quicker than people think. But back to HEXO here, this is all very suspect. Like I said, very odd that they didn't come out with the core presentation. Usually they're quite punctual on their deadlines and what they say they're going to do. So this tells me that we could potentially see some good news baked into that whole presentation and that investor deck. Let me know in the comments below if you agree with me on that as well. Going to wrap things up there, and make sure to smash the like, subscribe to the channel on your way out. Tick the bell, you'll be notified on any future updates, and we'll see you again on the next video.